Do you love the idea of new construction, but you just don't have the patience or the time frame to wait a year for your home to be built? Well, there is a solution for you, and it is called Spec Homes. Today, we're going to dive all into the details of that. But before we get started, as always, I'm Caitlin Blosser. I'm a local mom and realtor here living in St. John's. Okay, so new construction is a very popular in St. John's County. We have a ton of new construction developments, a ton of communities that are wrapping up that still have that new construction being built. And new construction is a great option, right? It's a brand new home. Everything is brand new. You are going to get a 1-year warranty. So if you move in and something bad, like for example, we bought new construction. About 6 months in, we got a roof leak. Sure enough, it was from nail pops, and they came right out and they fixed it, right? If you buy a resale, so a home, say you were to purchase this home from me today, and then in 6 months you got a roof leak, guess what? I'm not coming back to fix that roof. So there are some really good incentives when buying new construction, but everyone doesn't always have the time to go and pick out your lot and pick out the floor plan and pick out the design aspects. And even if you have the time, that might not be your personality to sit there and care about all those details. So new construction has what is called spec homes. Spec homes mean it's all been done for you, right? The builder has already decided what floor plan's going on, what lot. They went through, they picked out the flooring for the kitchen, the flooring for the living room, what color cabinets you were going to have, what kind of countertops. And they've been building that house and it's getting ready to be complete. And now it's your turn to buy it. Now there's two types of builders. You have your first type of builder that is all they build. For example, D.R. Horton, Lennar, those are builders that just strategically just start building. They're going to pick everything out for you. You don't have any choices. Even if you wanted to have a choice, I'm so sorry, they're not going to let you have a choice. And that's just their style of build. So if that's kind of more your wheelhouse, those are some builders to look into. And then there's other builders that do allow you to build from the ground up and pick everything out and have hundreds of options for you to choose from. But they know not everyone has that timeline. So they're going to go ahead and they have a design team that's going to go ahead and pick all that stuff out for you and start building. That way there's inventory for you to go ahead and move in. And those builders like Dream Finders, Mastercraft, Toll Brothers, pretty much every builder is going to have spec options as long as they have inventory coming. Builders always like to have lots open to build from the ground up and have this consistent stream of homes being done. That way, if a buyer walks in their model home, they have options for you to choose from. Now, I want to start with the builders that's all they do. That's their wheelhouse. So, like I said, D.R. Horton and Lennar are two we're going to kind of dive into. Those D.R. Horton, you get a little bit more options. And options, I mean, it's pretty much, do you want dark cabinets or do you want white cabinets? You're pretty much always going to have the same granite countertops. You're always going to have the same tile flooring, same color carpet, same wall color. And they're able to pump these houses out. They do come at a cheaper price. And a lot of times that's because when you're mass producing the same tile in every single home, you can buy it in huge bulk quantities and get it at a discount. Just like if you're always buying the exact same countertop, D.R. Horton is getting a massive discount. So sometimes just because it is cheaper for you as the consumer doesn't mean the quality of the build itself is cheaper. Just think they're getting that discount that is then getting passed on to you. Lennar is another one that their prices are very competitive and they have some great floor plans. Now, Lennar used to have where you would walk in and they would have, it was literally like a poster, and on it would be, hey, if you want white cabinets, because most people go off of cabinet color, if you want white cabinets, hey, you're getting this gray countertop, you're getting this wood look tile floor, you're getting this color carpet, and this is the color of finishes. And then they'd be like, hey, do you want brown cabinets? Well, if you want brown cabinets, it's this color countertop, this color flooring, this color wood look tile. Like they would have like these 4 posters hanging up and you would be like, I want that one. Now Lennar went away with that and they went with a really white scheme. Every cabinet is white. Every countertop is white. Floor color is, I want to say it pretty much every floor color is like that gray wood look tile. Every carpet is the same. And again, because they're buying all these things at a great, like in bulk, that savings gets passed on to you. Also with Lennar Communities, if you drive through the community, it is very, like when we talk cookie cutter, it can be very cookie cutter because they always follow a pattern. So it'll be like brown, blue, green, tan house, brown, blue, green, tan house, brown, blue, green, tan house. So while you don't have options in terms of what you want, a lot of times if you're like, hey, I really like the Charles floor plan, but like I want the blue exterior, a lot of times they can be like, hey, we know that that is going to go on this lot because they systematically design everything. Now, those builders, a lot of times they won't let you go under contract or anything like that until you're about 3 months away from the home being complete. Because they're kind of always pumping these things out. And if the interior is always the same, they're not going to have a house that they know will be completed in 9 months and take it off the market because they always have stuff coming. These builders also always give great incentives with interest rates and things like that, because if you buy a home a month or two out, they know the current interest rates, they know the current market pricing, and they can work with those incentives to help you. Where if you go under contract and you don't close on a home for 9 months, they can't guarantee you that 4% interest rate, because what if interest rates are up in the 12s and now they have to buy down, where right now they could be in the 6s and it's less of a buy down. So some of those, not only are you getting a cheaper price because they're able to build your home more cost effectively, you can also get some really good incentives. Now, like I mentioned earlier, every builder is going to have a spec collection of homes, meaning they're always going to be constantly having their PMs work or their superintendents work on building homes. So that way, if you move in and you really want to move in 30 days, they have something for you. Now, they try to really do what's current on trend. It's not like D.R. Horton where you're always going to get square look tile, right? A lot of times with these other builders who do have the design centers where you can go in and pick from 80 different floor styles, whether it's wood look tile, regular wood, engineered hardwood, LVP, square tile, marble. When they offer that huge variety of options, they're going to go ahead and pick out some very, I would say, simple design that they know is popular, that they know will appease the crowd of kind of what they're seeing trend wise. They're never going to go way over the top and pick like a marble flooring or even like a wood floor that's more expensive. They're going to pick something very middle of the road that a lot of people will like, to kind of keep those prices competitive, but then also be able to where if you were to walk into the home, it's a blank slate for you to get started. Now, these homes, like I said, a lot of times they'll put on the market with about 3 months or less to go. Their pricing is the same, where if they put an LVP flooring in it, it's added to the price and you're paying for that design price. So where with Lennar, a lot of times, if you want a certain floor plan, that floor plan is going to stay pretty much that price across the board. Sometimes with these other builders, because there's a different variety of cosmetic finishes inside, you will get varying degree of pricing on those spec homes. But they also can run really good specials. And a lot of the specials and incentives for spec homes all depend on how the market's doing. If the home is 3 months out, meaning they're still finishing up final touches, everything's been ordered, but the home isn't complete, they might be less motivated to work with you on price compared to a home that's complete, sitting there, they're losing money on it, and you are able to make that close within 30 days. Those lenders a lot of times can even make 21-day closing happens. And so a lot of times you're going to get the most bang for your buck and the most incentives on those homes that are ready to go. Regardless of what you choose, whether you go with a more specific home builder that has more options but has already picked out those options for you, or something like Lennar, you still get that new protection warranty. So on all those homes, you're always going to do a first walkthrough, which depending on the builder can be anywhere from a month to a week out of closing, where you go through and you literally take blue painter's tape and green painter's tape and you mark that house up. So if there's like a mark of where a tradesman has hit the wall, they'll mark it and they'll come back in and paint everything. If the trim's messed up anywhere, they'll come in and they'll fix it. If there's a chipped tile, if there's, like, you are truly looking at this new construction home under a microscope, kind of doing doing your due diligence, and they will come in and fix it. And likewise, you can get a home inspection just like you do on a resale. You want someone to come in and test everything out for you. You know, if you buy a resale, think people have lived there, they've kind of worked the kinks out. When you're buying brand new, no one has lived there, right? When they hooked up that shower faucet, they probably ran it to make sure it was running and shut it right off. So have an inspector come in and run it for a couple minutes, fill the bathtubs up, make sure there's no leaks, run the kitchen sink, use their thermal guns to make sure that there's no leaks behind the walls. So even though it's new construction, you can still go through with a fine tooth comb and fix all the imperfections and get an inspection and ask for your typical repairs to be completed. And then you always do a final walkthrough, just like you do with resales, where you're going to go in the day before or the morning of closing and make sure all those things are complete. Now, one thing that does vary between resales and new construction is a lot of times with new construction, you might have what's called a promise to complete. Meaning, if they weren't able to get a certain tradesman out before closing, they almost always are able to get drywall and your paint touch-ups done, but sometimes it might be like a kitchen cabinet that they need the cabinet company to order a new door, and that might take a little longer. They'll go ahead and have you sign a promise to complete form saying, hey, look, we ordered the cabinet, it's going to come in, go ahead and live with how you have it now, and when it's in, we'll call you and we'll schedule it. Most of the time, these repairs get done within a month to 3 months, I would say. They always try to get it done within the first 30 days, but that is something to keep in mind, where if you buy a resale, like when those papers are signed, you aren't ever seeing that seller again. So keep that in mind. With new construction, you might have a lot of people through your house the first couple months, and then you also have a warranty on the home. Now, they're not going to warranty things like if your grout starts cracking, things like that, but they will warranty where at the 11-month mark, they'll come back through. So as you're living in there, if you have nail pops in the wall, things like that, they will send a team through at 11 months and make those fixes. And a lot of people I've seen, they'll save their money on that home inspection at the beginning and then actually get a home inspection at month 11. Because typically once you move in, if you realize something's wrong, they will send a team out to fix it right away. So they'll wait till that 11 months till you've been living in the home, kind of using everything to really have an inspector kind of dig deep and make sure everything is working properly like you think it is. Now, we personally bought a spec home when we moved to Georgia. New construction wasn't really on our radar, but we were struggling finding a home. The market up there was crazy. And so we just stumbled upon the new construction, looked at it, loved it, and closed in 30 days. We had a good experience. This home we live in now, we built from the ground up, picked out every little detail. I think there's benefits of both. That obviously when you pick everything out, it's so exciting. When you don't pick things out, to me, it's no different than buying a resale, because you don't know what that seller, you didn't have any say in what that seller put in the house. And then I've loved with both houses having that warranty that the builder protects you. And both of our homes, whether they were the spec home or this currently built one, we've had issues with both in terms of things breaking within that first year, but the builder fixing it. And that was a relief in both situations. And our first house, we closed, I want to say in May, and Father's Day weekend, which is usually June, our AC went out. Well, the builder came out, fixed it. As I mentioned before, this house alone, a couple months in, we got a roof leak. They came out and they fixed it. So that is a little protection. And I always like to tell people, just because you're buying brand new doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, okay? It's all built by humans. There's always human error. There's always material error. So when you purchase, know that things might go wrong, but feel confident that you have these systems in place that will help protect and make things right. So that is it pretty much on spec homes. Spec homes are a great option. Like I said, if you don't have a lot of time to wait to build a home, you're kind of ready to go, but you do like that new construction neighborhood, or you do just want a brand new home, reach out to me if there is a neighborhood you like, or maybe that's something you want to explore, and I can kind of walk you through a couple of the neighborhoods and what options are out there. And then remember, a lot of those spec homes, you do get the best incentives on them because those builders want to move that product and start working on the next project. So that is it for today on Spec Homes. Stay tuned for a second video on building from the ground up. Once again, I'm Caitlin Blosser. I'm a local mom and realtor, and thank you for joining us at Living in St. John's.